Welcome to the Wizard of Radical Self-Respect. My name's Jared Mello, and I'm the Shepherd of Black Sheep. It's been a very interesting couple days here since this Sadia scandal has blown up, and I've done a bit of content about it. And to reiterate, my problem with Sadia Khan is that she calls herself a psychologist when she's absolutely not. She has a bachelor's degree and a teaching degree. That is not a psychologist. And how she treats people that disagree with her. She's abusive, she belittles them, she shames them, insults them. And there's receipts of this. And there's also receipts I'm going to go over here that she is truly been a side chick. And the audio recording is accurate. And the screenshots of the texts to this person were also accurate, and we're going to go over it right now.
Are not everywhere from my understanding.
Okay, so it's got my teen's number on there. And I just don't know how to make it go away. Is there a way that we can avoid talking about the screenshots altogether? Because that's the number that you get when you...
These are Abba and Preach here. They've helped out at goob_u2 on Instagram. I'm going to go over his stuff in a minute here too. But all this is invaluable. Sadia is actually suing goob_u2 on Instagram.
I interviewed Sadia Khan.
Oh, snap.
That's right. If you guys don't know who she is, she's a self-proclaimed licensed psychologist who offers people counseling and relationship advice and therapy. She was recently outed, turning out to be a side chick to some rich dude in Dubai, which she vehemently denies. I had the chance to interview her, and what you need to know is that she's a pathological liar. I already knew this lady was a
I'm not surprised by that one bit.
fraud from my deep research. Here are the fast facts. Fact number one, is she a psychologist? Absolutely not. She's not licensed anywhere, has not been. Fact number two.
And that's a big one right there. She can try to demonstrate that she is, but when push comes to shove, she absolutely can't. And that's where it's ridiculous that she's been able to deceive so many people. And she's been on a lot of big shows that, to me, they didn't do their due diligence. There's people like Jay Shetty, Soft White Underbelly, I think even Diary of a CEO, Chris Williamson. They've all had her on. And to me, they dropped the ball.
She lies about her education. I went to her LinkedIn. She's got things noted. She's mentioned them to me personally. But after I did some digging, I found out that this girl has a bunch of Photoshop degrees that she just carries around and posts places online.
Photoshop degrees. Now, let's remember here, Sadia Khan has admitted to being a narcissist. And what do people who are narcissists do? They exaggerate about their accomplishments, or they outright lie about them because they need their accomplishments to meet their grandiose sense of self. And as Dr. Grande said, narcissists lie because the truth is offensive to them.
Fact number three, she claims that a lot of this stuff was doctored in regards to her being a side chick, the screenshots of the text messages.
So the screenshot's completely fake.
What are you going to do about it? I'll suck his dick if you have an attitude.
What I can tell you is that I happen to have access to some screenshots that are not public. And when I showed her, she looked a little distraught. So these screenshots are not everywhere from my understanding. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on there. And who's that from?
Goob!
And when I showed her, she looked a little distraught. She looked a little scared. And I said, you have nothing to be scared about. I appreciate your second skills. And these text messages are great.
You did not say that.
I sure did. Now, fact number four, despite claiming to be a psychologist, she does go and harass people and flames them in the most disgusting way.
And this is absolutely true. I got more evidence of this too. I'm going to share after this video and the Goobs video.
Buttering up to get her comfortable to do this interview. I've been told it's unfair what people are doing to you. I've blocked some of the people. They've come to me with false allegations, and I want to be able to talk to you about them. The first time I tried to do the interview, she bailed last second, but then I came back around. It's not fair how they're treating you. The way I set up this interview is first, I just get her to lay out her facts. I didn't accuse her of nothing. I didn't say anything. I'm like, a lot of people say some of these degrees are fake. Tell me. I know some of her facts are not true. but I wanted her to be able to say it so that if I confront them afterwards, they'd be like, well, this is what you just said 5 minutes ago. Can you explain this?
Thank you for taking the time to speak. I can't actually say anything because unfortunately in Dubai, they're so strict with everything. If you say anything, just I'm going to send you the PowerPoint so you can understand.
PowerPoint?
And because it's like not properly. But so just allegation by allegation, just so you.
So the voice message is what is like, is it fake? It's not you, it's AI generated. I don't know.
So now we move on to the cheater infidelity allegations. The one where she's a side piece. Who else has a side chick on this level? Gives them no stress. Told you I'm such a side
Look at this. This is her.
chick.
No way. No way.
What are you going to do about it? I'll suck your dick if you have an attitude. And I can do it today if I want to.
Go on.
And I can do it on your wedding day and your birthday.
Okay, well, we'll.
And to be clear, I don't really care that she's a side chick, but it does show that, especially that she's treating the fiance like this, integrityless. That's what it is. I don't really care if she has one, but it's just integrityless to be saying this to the woman's fiance. It's like, hey, okay, be a side chick, but at least have a little bit of class about it.
After, I've been in situations where he's been with you in a social setting. He'll call me after.
And then I ask her specifically about the voice message where she talks about sucking dick very aggressively.
Screenshots and everything. We've actually traced it from Dubai police. They were able to give us the names. I worked with a particular person in 2021. I was in a relationship, but he was really into me. He used to always call me, always be like this. He was in a relationship as well. He was like a bit obsessed with me or whatever. But he wasn't in one relationship. He was in like 5, 6 different girls. He's a player like in Dubai, successful, those kind of people. And one girl called me and she was just like, oh, by the way, are you talking to this person? And I was just like, what are you talking about? No, I do not talk to him. And who are you to call me and ask him? Like, talk the whole, no, I don't have a memory of this conversation. I only did it when I started digging.
So she doesn't have a memory of this conversation.
But let me tell you more about it.
And mind you, this happened in 2021.
And I said, I don't touch your man. And this is my nature, right? This is honestly my nature. If I wanted to, I could suck his dick on your wedding day. If I wanted to, I could have your man. He's called me when he's in social situations saying, oh, you're so boring without you, blah, blah, this, that, and the other. So I was saying if I wanted to, I could do all of this.
But so just to be clear, in 2021, you didn't have a relationship with this person. You guys weren't.
Never had a relationship with this person.
Now, I had screenshots, but I
Now, let's see if this was accurate or not.
needed to tie it to her. The screenshots I had a specific phone number on them. We didn't know who that phone number belonged to. The person who sent them in saying, oh, she was my fiance, she claims it belonged to Sadia, but we didn't have proof. So watch this next part.
Also, just to confirm, I was given like 2 different numbers. I have one here. I don't know which one might be yours or maybe like the assistant that says 9749. Is that wrong?
3719?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Do you see the way she said the last digits? Why is that important? That means she has the number in front of her. I didn't say the last numbers. She finished. How would you know that number?
How would you know?
That's a number you use often. She didn't just say what number.
Abba and Preach doing their, what would you call this? Sherlock Holmes and Watson impersonation.
She said 3, 4 different last numbers.
Yeah.
That means she fucks that number a lot. That's the fucking number that was sending all them texts claiming to be Sadia. So you wasn't a side chick? Huh? You just DMing this nigga pictures of yourself? But the con doesn't end.
But secondly, I was in a relationship. I was not with in his side chick.
I'm going to show y'all these nasty, raunchy screenshots that might turn you on, but also make you disgusted. The best kind of erection. I'm going to show y'all these screenshots.
Why?
Y'all can see how your favorite dating coach really be out here in these streets.
God damn.
But yeah, we can have sex on Saturday.
Shut up, man.
Have fun. See you soon, gorgeous. You owe me dick, by the way.
Coming to give it to you. Wait there.
I'm waiting. But let's aim for not going back, though.
You never left.
No, babe. You never left.
Nah, I'm getting you pregnant.
Might as well.
Not looking after it, though.
What could go wrong except everything?
So one of the ways she denied being in this relationship is
What a wild thing this is, I'll tell you.
like she's like, oh, well, I got married in 2022. I have my marriage certificate. My husband, he was never fiancé, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes on to say, we froze our embryos in her sperm in 2022, no. I'm like, Well, all this happened in 2021. So what does that have to do with this? And maybe the guy's not your husband. Maybe it was the guy before him. I don't know. Or maybe you cheat on your husband. I don't know.
It's just throwing shit.
She's
to
throwing
blur.
random shit.
She you know, she's Robin Thicke. Blurred line.
Oh, that's good. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. That was good. That's good. That one I give you.
So these screenshots are not everywhere, from my understanding. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm. I have no idea what's going on there. And who is that from?
This was like, I guess, a screenshot from a video. So whoever sent this, I guess she was taking screenshots of sorts or taking pictures while she was like scrolling through.
Right. Okay. So it's got my teen's number on there. Because that's the number that you get when you...
She says it's her team's number. No. So this number is not her. It's her team. The team that nobody knows exists. Nobody's ever seen them. It just sounds like it's her texting.
Okay. So it's got my teen's number on there. Because that's the number that you get when you...
Doesn't look too good there for her.
She was fucked, bro. Oh, all my lies are useless now.
Play that shit again.
I made sure too. I did this at the end because this is where the energy and the whole thing changed.
Shifts.
Because she's telling people behind the scenes that she never texted this man, that these are all AI. But these pictures here prove that it's not AI.
It's not AI.
So this is like a Teams thing. So your team texts people from this number?
And they've got my group, a WhatsApp, and they put all my WhatsApp people that join my 3M and the people that join that. Because that number is...
And before I go on here, I do want to clarify. Normally, I would not like to jump on the bandwagon here. I'm not really a fan of like tearing others down and smearing them. But this is a rare case where she has reaped what she has sowed. And you will see as she has treated people in her previous posts, in the comment sections of her posts, calling them ugly, calling them brokies, telling people to end their own lives. And then she's going to claim to be a psychologist, and you're going to treat people like that? And granted, if she's going to treat people like that, she gets what she gets. And my little brother, they have kids that go to elementary school, and they have a saying there, you get what you get, and you don't get upset. And that's what I would say about Miss Sadia here. If you're going to treat people like that, when people call you out and they bring this to the forefront, you have only yourself to thank.
Available, like if you join the WhatsApp, anyone can have that number. That number is available.
What do you mean it's available? I don't know. What does that mean?
Well, as soon as you join the free calls or you sign up to be in a 3M program, they put you into a WhatsApp group, and that WhatsApp group has that number.
So what? Anybody in that WhatsApp group can text someone else?
Anybody in that WhatsApp group can have that number.
What?
So if you text that, what?
Every person that joined the 3M program, the 8K program, every single person in that joined a WhatsApp groups, different WhatsApp groups for which tier you're on. And because it's managed by that, they will be able to, trace, they will be able to get that number. But then it just doesn't look good on me because it's still linked to my team.
Word salad and not even plausible but untrue explanations for their behavior. Narcissistic people are experts at that, using word salad to deflect, word salad to avoid accountability. Or another one of their favorite tactics is using small, trivial details to distract from the main point. They'll focus on one small thing you got wrong, and they'll say, you got that one thing wrong, so your whole point must be wrong. When in reality, your whole point is not wrong. They're just using that as a smoke screen and as a distraction to avoid accountability.
And,
She said depending on what team you're on.
Yes, because in her head, we're talking about the teams, talking about what we're doing.
No.
I disagree. I think having researched how WhatsApp groups functions,
No.
I don't know that, and long feeling shrimp. Trying to fare better, double-check follow and fortuna down.
Oh, tipetao, tipetao. Sadate.
Sip it down. Missy Elliott in the building. This is her claim that everyone in the WhatsApp group gets access to this free number, and as a result, it's like,
No.
okay, maybe that's true. What does WhatsApp have to do with iMessaging?
it probably won't go through, or it probably will go through, but like my phone's right here. If you were to message that number now, it won't ring or anything, but it's still, who knows what will go on from there.
What?
So,
What?
I know. Like, this is her, this is like all from the same number. Now, her next claim, when she comes back 5 minutes later and she returns to this topic, is that I didn't even look like that in 2021.
So this is in 20, I'm just going to get the dates out. I'm sorry, like, I'm just have to get the dates. And that's May 22. So in 2021, these are terrible pictures, but you get the idea that they're kind of different.
Those filtered pictures? No, she did not.
So she's trying to claim it's not her.
She did
But I'm
not.
like, lady, we already have you using body waste filters. It looks like when you sent those pictures
Yeah.
you use filters, and you've admitted to using filters.
They're kind of different to
The images. I mean, listen, people, even with that, I'm sure some people will probably still look at this and go, but maybe their filters, whatever it is.
Hold on. Okay. You didn't look like that. So your team, on your behalf, from your number, is sending pictures that are not you. Fire your team.
Apparently.
I mean, let's think about this for a minute. How likely is it that it's not her sending someone pictures of her in this context? Let's think about that. How likely is it? Not very likely at all. But what is it more like? A narcissistic person saying and doing anything in order to avoid accountability and to deflect, and using word salad at the same time. You can't make this stuff up. This is what I talk about in real time. And it's pretty interesting to see it in real time.
Your team is you.
Yeah.
So
But do you have more from
No, that's pretty much the last one.
It's not. I have a lot more. I'm just not sharing everything. So now she's like, well, do you have more of those pictures that I've never seen?
Do you mind sharing again, like just so I can see what it is and just see what just because I'm guessing Goober's gonna do as much as he can, so I just need to get ahead of it.
I've got more. See you soon.
Oh yeah, so this is her, her setting up meetups with the guy. So this is not just her sending angry messages to piss the lady off for insulting her. This is her setting up dates. Yeah. And then this is where the Arab guy's like, I want to lick your vagine. She's like, stay awake, I'll be home soon. So she's a side chick, very excited to be so.
In 2019, I left the UK and went and became head of psychology in 2 schools in Dubai. So they don't allow you in educational institutions without an education. Now, the other route people go down is say she's not DHA licensed. She's not DHA. She hasn't got a DHA license. The only reason I don't have a DHA license is because when I first qualified, it expired. I didn't renew it because I was now online and I wasn't working in clinics. And in clinics, you need a DHA license.
I guess my question is, have you ever really had a DHA license in Dubai?
I started applying for it, but then my career took off.
that's not what she said. She said that it expired.
Her eligibility expired.
Oh, okay.
But that's okay, because it's still not good for her, because she emailed somebody in 2023.
This is my DHA license. I need an official apology from yourself and copy of your license.
So she used to claim that she had, but she just said she never got one. She started applying, but she didn't get it.
Yeah.
So she's been out here. And again, there's going to be a running theme. You're going to see how her words conflict with her history. But let's keep watching. If you're a health practitioner in the Emirates, you have to have a DHA license. If you don't, it's illegal and they can come after you. So she's definitely fraudulently claiming behind the scenes that she has a DHA license, but she
So that means that right now
I checked the registry, she's not there at all.
For the CBT, because I remember seeing that certification. That one was from where exactly? Was from the Center?
Excellent.
Okay, got it. So I know you got your BCS from University of London. Is there also a master's?
Yes. Well, I have a master's. I have a master's in education. And there's a University of London, qualify as a QTS, and that means that you can become a teacher. And you can feel free to check it or anything like that. Hopefully my name should come up.
Was your master's at UCL ever on your website, or is there any of it online? That's what I guess I'm asking.
Okay, I need to pause it. You're gonna notice when I ask her a question, she's very, as a con artist, she's very good. I ask her about her master's. She says, yes, I have a master's, and I also have a QTS. QTS, I have a number, you can look that up, blah, blah, blah. So she's just firing. But I know you don't need a master's to get a QTS. QTS just means you're a qualified teacher. That's it. But here's the thing.
To my understanding, she is a bachelor's degree in psychology and a teaching degree, not a psychologist. In America, you need to do licensed supervised hours. You need at minimum a master's degree in mental health counseling or in social work, and then you take your L test, and then you get your supervised hours by a licensed professional. Usually you need 4,000 of them, and then you can become a licensed professional counselor, or you can become a licensed clinical social worker. Now, if you want to become a psychiatrist, a PsyD, or a psychologist, you need a doctorate to do that. And there's also supervision that is required for that. And it takes a long time. Like from bachelor's to getting your full-blown doctorate and being able to practice, that's got to be like 8 to 10 years, I would think. It's not a short amount of time.
You're an educated person, and you have a master's degree, which is your highest form of education for her specifically.
You're going to show your master's
You're going to start with that.
Yes.
I don't ask a nigga who's a doctor for the education and they're like, here's my high school diploma. No, you show me your PhD. I don't need to see your bachelor's. She never produced it. I asked her an email 4 or 5 times. She sent me every certificate. I asked for the UCL. She ignored it. So it's on her LinkedIn. She claims she has a UCL degree, a master's. Nowhere. This is important. You can't become a psychologist unless you reach a certain level of education.
So this is just, it's deceptive. Again, I don't care that she talks about relationships. I don't care that she talks about what she talks about. Just don't deceive people into thinking that you're something that you're not. To me, that is my major problem. Me personally, I'm just a coach myself. I don't hate on people that talk about narcissism or whatever that don't have credentials. In fact, a lot of times, the people that don't have credentials know more than the people that do. So I'm not hating on people that don't have credentials, right? But I also wouldn't say something like, oh yes, I'm a licensed professional. I'm a psychologist. I'm a professional clinical psychologist. It's like, no, I'm not. So it would be pretty wrong for me to say that.
And master's is not necessarily enough depending on where you do your master's.
No,
I already know she's not a psychologist because she doesn't meet the threshold to be able to even apply. Okay, that's 1. 2, remember she mentioned that QTS thing. You see this email where it says this is my DHA license? This is the number that she had in that email about the DHA. QTS number again. Qualified teacher status. What the fuck does that have to do with DHA?
No, it doesn't.
You see how she does the same thing?
Yeah.
When
teaching, not the same as that DHA or whatever the heck it's called.
Asked about something specific, she uses a number from a completely different certificate.
Yeah.
That's the running thing. She's a pathological liar in that she will just crisscross all of her lies to avoid talking about.
This is pretty good here by Abba and Preach. I'm pretty impressed with them that they're able to stay on topic like this. She's using some pretty sophisticated narcissistic tactics here, and they're able to see right through it. So thumbs up to them.
About what you want to talk about.
Was your master's at UCL ever on your website, or is there any of it online? That's what I guess I'm asking.
I put them up, I think like for a week or 2 because I was getting so many trolls, but then it just got worse because they were just like, you're faking it, it's not real. And even though it's notarized, I even added the notarization on there, but they just won't believe it.
Also notice, listen to her tone here. Isn't it like so much more soft and gentle versus some of the tone that you'll see her in her comment sections when she's furious, calling people brokies, fat, ugly, you can't afford my program. And you'll see how she treats people that have been pregnant, by the way. And she says, oh yeah, your husband doesn't want you. They want you to get an abortion. It's like, there's some vile, vile things that she said. And look at her here. You'd never know that she has said those vile things with her tone like this. Oh, I'm just this. I'm talking to Abba and Preach. I'm trying to maintain my image, and it's important for me. And she has this soft, gentle tone that's meant to disarm you. But you can't be fooled by it, and they're not fooled by it either, thankfully.
And even though I got my work experience to show that you need these things in order to be, hired for that particular position, they won't believe it.
But for whatever reason, I guess people pulled this up and then they were like zoning in on this and they were claiming this is fake. And I'm like, I don't think that's the case. But I guess when you had this up, I guess it kind of saved the picture and these people kept it.
And I can get that everything for you. If you need anything notarized, I can put everything sent to you. I can also give you just the number that comes with it and you can just double check the number. But they, like I said, they're super, super dedicated. They will look for everything and anything. Can you see if there's any more? Because I think it was a story post, but I can't remember. Was there more? Is there more?
No, I think the first thing they did is they just flagged us and they're like, this is photoshopped. And it looks like it might have been. So that's why I think some people got...
Okay, no problem. I can send all the details for that as well if you need. And is this one as well that they've...
No, I think it was... This one. This is the one.
And okay. Oh, okay. No problem. I can send that as well. If they need anything,
Let me
this
show you something real quick here as well, just to show you what's going on here. So this is also her. I'm going to remove this for 1 second. This is her. This is talking to someone that is pregnant, by the way. Someone that I just met recently. And she says, your family hates you. Before you talk about others, please remember your partner doesn't want the baby you're carrying, and every single member of his family hates you and wants nothing to do with you. Yet you give advice? Highly qualified, my ass. I will be exposing every single thing you do. Dumb bitch. How about that? Just so you know, that's the same person here. Compare and contrast that energy with this.
is for the advanced CBT. Advanced CBT.
Yeah, I guess the question was like the British Psychological Society. I guess they didn't really have an association with the Center of Excellence.
I gotta pause. I asked her if they were ever on her website. I know they were on her website. I want to see if she's on it. She took them off a long time ago. What she didn't know is that there's something called the Wayback Machine. Everything on the internet lives forever. So I went through her website archives and I saw what it looked like a couple of years ago. And I found what she had. Look at this shit, bro. This was on her website as proof that she's educated. So this is her Bachelor of Science. Here it is. This fake fucking Photoshop degree of a master's was on her website, my nigga. It has no date. When do you ever see a degree with no date of issue?
No date.
Do you see the name? That is a clearly Photoshopped on top of this degree.
On top of this, that is. For basically what had happened was she probably took the pictures of that somewhere. And because she took it, it's kind of pixelated a bit. And then she added her name on, which is a clear name.
Okay, you see Master of Science, Psychology of Education?
Yeah, that never happened.
Not only did it never happen, but I got something good for you.
Oh my God.
You said she took it from somewhere. She took it from here, nigga. This is it right there. It's the same doctor. It's the same everything. That's it. She stole this person's degree.
She's trying to lose the degree. Oh my God.
Anyone who has a degree will tell you they would never issue you that without a date.
No, not without a date. That's crazy.
Again, remember, this was on her website as proof that she has that education. She sent me every degree, never sent me her master's. The reason why is she knows it looks bad if she tries to fake that shit too. Now,
SadiaPsychology.com.
It was on her website. Now we go to the next one. The devil's in the details. It all matters to the Kahn. Okay, Center of Excellence is the one that she always brings up and she shows everyone the degrees or whatever.
So what is
it's an online school sham. Not serious. You would never become a psychologist from going to this school for 1,000 years. It's one of those places where you go online, you say a bunch of things, and then they give you a piece of paper. That's it. And there's a lot of fake schools that exist online like that, where you can just pay some money and you get a certificate.
Yeah, I mean, I have some of these certificates in hypnosis, and you can get them in things like CPT or other things. And these are very different than the certificates that you can get that are post-master's degree. So someone will become an LCSW, an LPC, or a clinical psychologist or psychiatrist. There's all sorts of post-master's or post-doctoral certificates you can also get. They are very different. These certificates are just something anyone can get. You don't even need anything to get them.
But it doesn't actually apply for any real world jobs. Ooh, so this one she thought she got rid of. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Do you see this Photoshop?
Again, it's the same thing. It's not the same fonts.
So the British Psychological Society is actually real.
Oh.
It is accredited. It's a serious thing. If you have something that goes through them, that means that you're legit.
The certificate is likely real, as in from COE, but it's not a legitimate credential for psychology practice. The BPS logo is extremely misleading.
What she did was to give herself a more legit feel. She just fucking photoshopped these two together.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that's what she did to give.
So you catch that? She photoshopped 2 degrees that would look legitimate, but were not. Pretty shisty and pretty deceptive, if you ask me.
You can look it up. Center of Excellence and British, nothing to do with each other.
Nothing to do with each other.
Okay, now listen to her explanation again, because I asked her about this.
Yeah, I guess the question was like the British Psychological Society. I guess they didn't really have an association with the Center of Excellence. And so they questioned how these things were like merged together.
When you are BPS accredited, what that simply means is that that organization has put it through BPS and they've approved of it. I can send any details for that if that needs it.
She's saying the Center of Excellence put it, but they can't. The Center of Excellence is a place where they have stuff like herbology and like spirituality.
The logo placement at the top is misleading. The British Psychological Society is shown. The BPS does not recognise COE courses as valid qualifications for psychology practice.
They don't. I contacted them. They said we have nothing to do with the Center of Excellence. We've never had.
Me personally, I feel like as a Muslim woman who's got brown skin, the moment you come up in their world, just like Jay Shetty, the moment we come up and you're not looking like them, they automatically assume that you're not real. You'll see white content.
The woke card, Sadia Khan? Really? You're gonna play the I look brown card when in reality you've probably had all sorts of privilege from being attractive your whole life, more so than many white people, period? To me, there's two of the biggest forms of privilege. Wealth, being born into wealth, and being very attractive. Because being very attractive is either something you've been blessed with or you're not. And that's why it's one of the most prestigious forms of privilege, if you ask me.
Creators, white coaches, the Matthew Husseys or the other kind of coaches in the world, nobody asks, checks, cares what their background is. They just assume that they're perfect. But when you're of color, or particularly in my position, I felt like a woman, and as long as you're not super old or you're not white, you simply can't be qualified.
I definitely hear what.
So Abba here is black, so he might have a little more sympathy for this. But she's playing the cards, the gender card, the brown card. I mean, what is this? Emphasizing victimhood. That's what that is.
You're saying earlier in regards to maybe other content creators, maybe those of a different complexion, not receiving the same kind of scrutiny. But from my knowledge, I think you're probably one of the only content creators in this space who I think is like considered a psychologist, at least at this degree and this level. And so I think because you have this added title, I think there's a little bit of extra added scrutiny because the title does carry some weight, right? Like a lot of these people are uneducated or don't have any kind of background that's officialized.
Yeah, like is Matthew Hussey a doctor? Is he a psychologist? Does he lean on that as a power of authority? No.
Oh, he's Matthew Hussey.
That's it. If you're a doctor and you're operating in the public space, it's perfectly acceptable for people to ask for your credits. That's a normal thing.
Whenever you just say...
This is very correct. People ask me this too. Sometimes people will ask me this to dismiss what I have to say and invalidate and discredit what I have to say. And I know when they're doing it a lot of times, and I used to get mad when they did it because I knew they were doing that. It was usually the people that disagreed with me, and they would say, "What are your credentials?" And they're trying to get me in a gotcha moment. But what I've learned to do with it over the years is, whether they're doing it for good purposes or not, I just own it. Hey, I went to school for addictions counseling and mental health counseling, but most of what I know, I learned from my own experience and other professionals. It's my go-to answer, and that's it. Whether you're trying to dunk on me when I say that, or you're truly curious because you want to schedule a coaching consultation with me, of course, they are definitely people I'm going to tell the truth about for sure, right? I'm not going to lie to the people that want to get a consultation with me. They're very entitled to know. It's annoying when people try to ask that to simply discredit me, not because they're interested in a consultation at all. They're just trying to make me look bad. But I've learned that's how to handle it. Don't get annoyed. Just give them the answer and then say nothing. That's it.
Certain things, or you're a coach, is just your opinion and your vision of things. When you say you're a psychologist, it's medical now.
Yeah.
Things that really happened that were viewed and reviewed and reflected. It's not just your opinion. It's not just, I've noticed that this and that, or I cracked the code. It's not like it's not a roll of the dice. You're a doctor. There's an expertise attached to it.
She did this victim thing a lot. She's like, I can't let these videos come out. I have a husband. I'm having kids. Do you want to see my embryos? My father. That's a quote.
Just so you're clear, from 2022, we have our own embryos together.
That's a quote, nigga. That's a quote.
See, he's on the ball here. He called the victim thing out too. I didn't watch this in advance. He did just post this maybe 90 minutes ago now. And his video might get taken down because he said that she's threatening to sue them for this.
She mentioned the fact that she had a dad and two brothers, and if they find out, because she's Pakistani, they're going to kill. Or
So it's just that it's because of my father. If it wasn't for my father and he was Pakistani, strict, all of his, if anything gets back to him or my brothers, it's like,
It's a big problem.
there's nowhere, I can't live.
she did a lot of this, like, trying to garner sympathy. But, you know, your boy, I don't care.
Especially if you're scamming people, man.
That's it.
And
So I know you got your BCS from
And this is what especially attractive women are going to try to do to avoid accountability. They're going to play that up, that little doe in the woods routine. Oh, I don't want to look bad to my this and this. I don't want to look bad to that. I'm a woman. I'm a woman of color. Even though she looks pretty white to me. But yeah, she is, I believe, Muslim, I suppose. But it's like, but this is what they'll do. They're not above anything to avoid accountability and to manipulate people. I had a video not that long ago about how one of the female narcissists' biggest weapons is tears. Because especially in a public situation, people are going just to assume a woman who is crying is correct. The more attractive that woman is, the more true they think that is. When in reality, a slick female narcissist, they know that's how people think, and they know it touches on things in people, especially guys. You see a woman crying, you have this impulsion to like help them and try to care for them and try to like rescue them in some cases. It's an impulse with a lot of us, and they play right into that, and they know exactly what they're doing.
University of London. Is there also a master's?
yes, well, I have a master's. I have a master's in education, and it's what happens with your master in education. You qualify as a QTS, and that means that you can become a teacher.
And a master's of education has nothing to do with psychology. That is not how you become a mental health counselor. That is not how you become a licensed professional counselor or a licensed clinical social worker or a psychologist. No, that's a completely different track.
Keep asking about her master's and keeps mentioning this QTS shit. And I'm like, show me your degree, bitch.
Master's degrees are just like vegan people. You don't need to ask. They'll tell you they have.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? That's the first thing that they're gonna leave.
Yo, you got your master's? Where your master's at? Oh, is that what it is? Yo, let me see. Okay. Hold up. Ask me for my master's.
Do you have your master's?
So, I have my QTS right here. The number is right there. Any other questions?
Yes, you have your master's.
Absolutely. If you just look right here at my QTS.
Cool. What about your master's?
Okay. Say ah. Say ah. Do you want to know what she said at the end? Okay, about the UCL?
What did she say?
Because after we were done the call, I'm like, listen, I'm not going to make another video if you just send me the UCL and your British Psychology Association certificate. I want to see that because those two pieces.
That's a big one.
Sadia said it's okay if we stick with the narrative that she's not qualified and it is fake. She's super nervous that anything said will lead to more backlash. We are so sorry to do this. It's just that she has to be very, very careful. If she says the rumors are not true, she may get new rumors. So sorry for this. So, certificate copy of entry of marriage. She sent me that. She
send me your UCL.
Now, I have my citizenship papers. Would you like to see those?
No, I want to see the UCL.
I have a Costco card.
I want to see your master's.
I don't have a master. I've never had one. We're free. We love being free. And mind you, she told me so many times that she's going to get it for me.
And I can get that everything for you. If you need anything notarized, I can put everything sent to you. And I can get all of that sent to you with the numbers associated with it. I can get all that sent to you as well. Feel free afterwards. If you just need to double check, please let me know. I've got no problem. Please feel free. If you just want to fact check it, no problem at all.
And people have really pointed to that as like behavior that may not be okay for a therapist per se, you necessarily going back and forth. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Now, to give you context, the kind of stuff that she says to people, I will let you see it for
yourself. Oh, yes, please do. Have a nice
Let's take a look at this. This should be interesting.
idea, but
No, you don't.
I did a story on her the other day because she edits her videos and I thought it was very funny. I criticized her in the video because it was very obvious that she puts waist filters on any video where her full body is shown, and in a lot of her videos she's talking about how much self-confidence she has. But when I called her out, she lost her goddamn mind. It's now been about 48 hours and she has spent the last 2 days accusing my followers of being animal addicts, being cheaters, being prostitutes, and everything in between. But today she started a new trend. These are videos that my followers sent me. This person left a comment on her page, and she tried to call them via audio 4 or 5 times. And then when they wouldn't pick up, she left the threatening message that you'll see scroll by here. Pick up, or I'm going to post your address online. And here's
Look at this. I mean, so look at her doe in the woods routine. And then this is her. This is the real her mask off. That doe in the woods routine is image management Sadia, which is, I'm afraid that my image might be harmed Sadia, so I'm going to do everything I can to manipulate Abba and preach and to avoid these consequences. This is the real Sadia.
Another one from another one of my following. Pick up, don't be scared. Don't be scared, pick up, calling over and over and over and over again.
Photoshop a bit better, Karen. We can see the curves in the wall. Not everyone is raised to be a sleut. Shut up, my content isn't for hoes. Get off my page. Kind regards. I asked her, is this kind of behavior becoming of a therapist?
I would just say that in general, just because as somebody's a surgeon doesn't mean that outside of their work they have to cut people's bodies open.
My girl. I can tell you this much. If a surgeon acts like you act, insulting people and harassing people online, the job might have some questions for you.
Oh, you could lose his license.
Oh, yeah, you could definitely use your license for that.
I agree. I do agree that it's not great conduct. And I got a really bad temper on me. So, and which is something I definitely have learned my lesson not to bother doing. But I just see it as like, if you're not my client, why do you get my service? My service is a therapist. You're not paying for this service.
Right. But to my understanding as psychologists, there is still a code of conduct. And so even if you're off the job, there's probably certain behaviors that they would say is
Now, I have a bit of sympathy with Sadia here for this, because there are a fair amount of people that do expect you to help them for free. And they're fairly entitled about it too. They'll say, no, if you really want to help people, you should be doing it for free. And it's like, really? You're going to tell me that you're going to be entitled to my time to help you, and I'm not able to make a living because I need to be doing it for free? There are people out there like that, but how you handle those people is everything. You don't rip them and say, like, you're a brokey, slut, bitch, whatever that she might say. Like, there's no emotional self-control in that. But I can get the frustration when people say those things, for sure. But you still gotta be bigger than that. You gotta be better than that.
Becoming a people of that profession, and then thus, like, based off of like the job that you're trying to engage in, there shouldn't be things that you would engage in. If someone is a psychologist or they hold these fields, and if they're behaving a certain way online, that would be something that would cause losing their license. You're not a bus driver, you know.
I do. Overall, I completely agree. There's no point in me defending it, because I completely agree. It's something I've been told for years, but I have this, and this is 100% my nature. You can ask my husband, who's right here. I can't, and because I've been bullied so much my whole life.
Victim? I bet you that's what they're going to say here. The victim routine.
Again, always a victim. And she says she has an anger problem and what else other stuff. Like, ma'am, you're a therapist. You can't afford therapy.
All the connects, all the contacts to do something about that, my girl.
And I'll have you know, after this call was done, she went right back to shitting on people nonstop.
I wasn't doing psychology. 100%. I would be a drug dealer. There is no other job role on this planet that suits my personality more, because I am so fearless. I have a very poor work ethic. I am unprofessional, and I don't respect the law.
Yes. Good. Yes.
Yes, we know.
Yes.
Come out the closet.
Hey, the first thing you said that was actually honest. Congratulations. You can do it.
That's it. Set it free. I lied about being a therapist. I lied about being a psychologist. I lied about having licenses. I lied and I was tricking. Just say it.
Law schmore, it's fine. We'll get away with it. It's not a problem. So I just got super lucky that, all praise be to God, I'm a girl and I didn't come from that kind of background or whatever it is. But in another life, 100%, I would be in rehab or jail by now.
I seem okay, but deep down, I just want to marry for money and never go back to work.
Scams. All right, so this is the gist of it.
Oh, my girl.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking. I think a lot of the receipts speak for themselves. The girl's a liar. She's a pathological liar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, had she shown me a lot of proof that made me really question stuff, I would have never put out this video.
Where's your master's degree? She would have answered to that, and that would have been fine.
Why did you have a Photoshop master's degree that belonged to someone else on your website? Why do you have a Photoshop certificate from the British Psychological Association? We want to know. Everyone wants to know why you're lying. Why are you lying about this whole side chick stuff? Like, hey, listen, I had a dark past. It is what it is.
It'd be better if you own it, actually.
Well, you know, she does a lot of corporate gigs. She does a lot of public speaking. So for them...
And again, she didn't need to do that. Like, you can talk about things just like the way I do on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, etc. And granted, if I would lie and say, oh yeah, I'm a psychologist, I have credentials, maybe the algorithm looks at you differently, and maybe that's what she's thinking, and she thinks, oh yeah, I can get on these big shows if I fabricate that. And unfortunately for her, or for everyone, she was right. She did get on those big shows. And a lot of it had a lot to do with her looks too. And again, that British accent, I always tell you, the Americans think it gives them 10 extra IQ points.
Her actually lying about this and being a complete fraud in regards to her education is actually a big deal. It'll cost you money. But maybe you shouldn't have. You know what's the worst part too is she could have entered this space and not done any of the lying.
Yeah.
Most of the people in this space don't rely on credits. It's not important. She's actually incredibly charismatic.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I just said.
Like when she was speaking to me, I was like, oh, I can see how she be charming motherfuckers. It's very difficult to lie for this long. I did my thing.
You did your thing.
Thank you.
No.
I'm Ja. Viking style.
Viking style.
Yeah.
No, you did your motherfucking thing. Yeah. I gotta admit.
And you know what? You don't believe me? If you're in the UK and you're an employer, you guys can go check whether or not she's got these degrees. Y'all can find this information yourselves. You guys can contact UCL. Y'all can contact these places. I'll be willing. Ask the DHA. Dubai Health is, they're very serious. Even though it's the Emirates and some people have this perception, I promise you, they have a thorough registry. I checked it. She ain't in there. The bitch is a liar. But she mingles in enough truths and hyper focuses on those truths to distract from her lies. That's her con.
Oh, you mean QTS?
I mean, she ran to OnlyFans. That should be banging, bro.
I'll suck his dick if you have an attitude, and I can do it today.
Oh my, oh shit, 25.
Oh, you know what? If she,
Again, compare and contrast that with her tone in this.
25.
Yeah, she'd make more money than whatever.
Oh, fucking, hey,
25.
Porta potty.
She already in Dubai, so.
So here you go. Dubai, home of the scammers and tricks.
In another life, 100% I would be in rehab or jail by now.
So these.
All right. Well, that's the end of that one. How about that? What do you think about that, everybody? That was insane. Let's read some of these comments I missed, and I got another thing to go over here too. Stop screen. Think. And there's one more thing. This is what someone sent to me too that she had said. See if I can even read this. No, I can't even read it. But I'll read it to you, what she said. If you're seeing a therapist for more than 6 months, they are awful. And this is what Sadia said. You should never even need them. And the person says that blanket statement is dangerous. In straightforward cases, sure, someone might not need a therapist long term, but you're ignoring serious psychiatric conditions, personality disorders, complex trauma, and other chronic mental health issues cannot be resolved in 6 months. Suggesting otherwise misleads people and can put them at risk. Giving advice like this without knowing a person's full history isn't just oversimplified. It's irresponsible. I value directness, but with mental health, accuracy and caution are just as important. Sadia says, no, it's not. You're just dumb and dependent. Anyone smart would know the point of therapy is teach you life skills to become independent thinker, not to create an idiot that needs you for years on end. And then the guy says, any real psychologist would never say what you just did. And they're correct. Because blanket statements like that can actually trigger suicidal thoughts in vulnerable people. Therapy isn't about creating dependence, it's about stabilizing, building insight, and equipping people to handle life they couldn't otherwise manage. Before you give advice on mental health, maybe learn the difference between pop-psych opinions and real psychiatric care. Sadia says, you're not my client, you're a troll, so shut up and get a grip. And the guy says, thank God I'm not your client. Losing your cool while lecturing me really proves who's unstable here. And Sadia says, You could never afford me. Always going back to that grandiosity. Actually, not a single franc of mine would ever go to you. That's Swiss francs in case it wasn't obvious. Sadia says, you couldn't afford it, Karen. Stick to watching me like a peasant fan for free. It's like, this is just absurd. So you might get tempted to feel bad for her as she was talking to Abbott and Preach there. And again, this is what people that are maybe people pleasers and who are fawning, they can fall for that a little bit. They put on that woe's me routine, feel like they seem gentle and soft. And people that are forgiving are always looking for the best in people. The people that we would say have some empathy and have a big heart, they might be tempted to give them a second chance. Oh, it's okay, Sadia. I understand. I'll give you a second chance. And then it's really just that she's trying to get control of her image right now. That's all this is. It's not that she cares that she's done that. She's just trying to maintain her image. Let's read some comments here. Oops, sorry about that. I try not to do that anymore. That was interesting to see her in action. Yes, it was, Jolly, wasn't it? Melissa says, my former coworker wasn't very attractive at all, but she thought she was and was a narcissist. I believe she acted the same way. I believe it. Bear, how are you? Jolly, how are you? Ellie, how are you? Cat Wild says, actually, it sometimes takes a while in therapy for someone to receive an accurate diagnosis, accept it, and then work on it. So she's wrong. 1,000%. I mean, and my personal opinion on therapy is, I think everyone could benefit from therapy. I think it's just helpful. It's helpful to talk to someone about your shit. And there's certain people out there that think it's something shameful to go to therapy. Oh, there must be something wrong with you if you're in therapy. Or if you're in permanent therapy, there's something wrong with you. And I will say there's a big difference between endlessly looping and never improving and then constant improvement. The best performers out there, if you're a coach and whatever, Tom Brady. Tom Brady, the quarterback, he had coaches. He had coaches helping to improve his performance. There's no shame in trying to improve. Jolly says, I don't feel sorry for her. I can see what she is. Smart woman. Rehab or jail, what was that? She was talking about how if she wasn't doing what she was doing, she'd be like a drug dealer because she's got a bad work ethic and other not so fun things. It's not good, I'll put it to you that way. So let's see, I'm going to go over Goob. Goob is getting sued by her, legitimately. And I don't know, the powers to be on Instagram, I don't know if they're messing with me or not, but I can't comment, I can't write a description of my posts anymore. And I wonder, because I kind of sometimes think Sadia might be a connected person somehow. She might have some links to powers to be. One of the reasons why she was able to come so fast on the scene and get in all those big shows. And maybe I've angered the powers to be there. But let's see. So this is Goob here. And this is his most recent video here.
Sadia Khan on my page for being a high-value woman, high-value man coach, but as we learned, she was a side piece in somebody else's relationship. Not very high value.
Oh, bastard.
So I recently exposed Sadia Khan on my page for being a high-value woman, high-value man coach, but as we learned, she was a side piece in somebody else's relationship. Not very high value, was it, Sadia?
And he actually asked me today, oh, did you get in trouble today? I was like, no, I did not. But I'm supporting him because all he's done is share the truth. I mean, he's got... The one thing that I said wrong on Instagram was I said she was $8,000 an hour. It's really $8,000 for a coaching package. And I said she had no credentials. What I should have said was, because this post blew up. I wasn't expecting it to. But what happened was I said no credentials, when in reality, she's just not a psychologist. I mean, I've known that. I just wasn't specific about it, but I should have been. and that's on me.
But some of you voiced some credibility questions about the screenshots and the voice messages that it showed. After all, one of the clips was her literally saying, "I'll suck your man's dick on your wedding day, I don't care."
I do about it. I'll suck your dick if you have an attitude, and I can do it today if I want to.
Go on.
And I can do it on your wedding day and your birthday.
Okay.
All of this made me want to verify it and maybe dig a little deeper. I did something bad, guys. I teamed up with YouTubers Abba and Preach, and we set up a call with Sadia Khan.
That's who we were just watching.
And when I say set up a call, what I really mean to say is that we convinced her that Abba was on her side and that he was doing a call with her
Playing chess, not checkers. I love it.
so that he could do his own puff piece to help her own PR campaign. Fortunately for Sadia, she just got 1 hour long of her confirming everything we already knew. Such as her confirming the phone number that she sent this dick appointment text from. He had the phone number already because this guy's girlfriend took these screenshots of his phone. You see it right there, ends in 3719. Here's the footage of Sadia confirming it on the phone.
Also, just to confirm, I was given like 2 different numbers. I have one here. I don't know which one might be yours or maybe like the assistant. That says 971585497. Is that wrong?
3719?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Oof, so it was you making those late night booty calls to another woman's man. Now, when she confirmed that number, she did not know that we had those screenshots of her sending those messages. Here's where she realizes that we have them. Abba puts it up on the screen on the meeting that they had.
There you go.
Okay, so it's got my teen's number on there. Yeah, because my number on there is going, because that's the number that you get when you join my WhatsApp group.
You can pinpoint the approximate moment that her soul leaves her body when she realizes she's caught.
But so just to be clear, in 2021, you didn't have a relationship with this person. You guys weren't.
Never had a relationship with this person.
Never had a relationship, but when he said, "Nah, I'm getting you pregnant," you said, "Might as well." Never had a relationship, but you told him that he owed you dick.
There is zero chance of me being somebody's side chick. I've got evidence of us. I've got pictures of us. We got married in 2022. We've got embryos in January 22. So we've got evidence that we were obviously together for way longer than that.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's my theory. She doesn't want this out there because she was talking to this guy, sucking and fucking him, while she was courting the man that she's currently married to. To support my theory, the only thing Sadia was concerned about getting out was these text messages.
Is there a way that we can avoid talking about the screenshots altogether? I know it's hard, and you can keep the original video up. I don't mind. You can do what you need to do.
No, Sadia, there isn't a way. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Well, that is that. That is that. Let's see. Severe depression at times, Jolly. Well, that's not too good. That's good. Sometimes we need to go more often than others. At first, I did once a week for quite a while. Hope you're feeling better. Wow. Uh-oh. How's that better now? Maybe because I have all these screens open. How's that? The volume better? Yeah, it should be. Well, maybe not. Let's see. Yay or nay? Getting better? I don't know. It should be working. Couldn't tell you. Well, but that was pretty much it though anyway. I can't do anything else. I don't know what else it is. I couldn't tell you what else it is because it's the same way I do it every time. No better? Better or worse? Okay, you can. I wonder why other people can't. Gotta go to my settings here. Output volume, up, 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 up. Is that better or worse? Better, better, better. Okay. So maybe sometimes, somehow the volumes get messed up over there on the back end, especially when you do a screen share. I mean, it's on, how's that? This is the maximum volume. See, some people can hear me loud and clear. I don't know what you're watching on. How's that? I've turned echo cancellation off. Or on, I should say. That's the problem, that you can't check. I can't check my audio until I'm watching it back. When I'm watching it back, then you can see. The only way to do it is to test it. You can test it when, like I put something on private and I can test it. Yeah, it's hard to say, right? I mean, sometimes YouTube messes with it. Okay. And when I was playing the videos, though, people could hear that loud and clear, right? Good. That's good. As long as it's good now, that's what's important. Yeah, I turned echo cancellation on. But thanks for letting me know. But honestly, that was really it, though. That was really it. That's all I wanted to go over. I wanted to help Goob there. He was the person on Instagram. I felt bad. He's getting sued. He's getting sued by and that's the thing, Rhodes, is that when there's a video, it's difficult sometimes to get the balance correct between video and me. But for this stream in particular, the videos were more important because I was listening more than I was talking in the beginning. So that's what's important for that. But oh yeah, so Goob, Sadia is suing him for defamation. I don't know exactly what was the defamation part, but if what he's saying is true, I don't know where that would come from. And maybe like exposing text messages, like this is where it's gray areas with social media, and like, is that doxing? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Like maybe, and maybe that's why Sadia Khan there didn't show that, perhaps. I don't know. And maybe I should private this so I can edit out that number there as well at some point. Or like, what would I do? Download it and then re-upload it without that, perhaps. It's important because you can't have people like her calling victims of narcissistic abuse pathetic. I don't know if you watched the stream I did about it the other day, but that's what she said. Oh, I'd rather be a narcissist than a pathetic victim of abuse. And then she was doing the narcissistic routine of making it seem like there's a problem with the victim for being abused. There's a problem with the victim for not seeing it sooner. A healthy, normal person would see it sooner. All of the narcissistic people say the same things in regards to victims. I see it all the time. And it's easy to point out once you recognize it, once you see it. And she deserves that. I mean, she blocked me. She blocked me on Instagram. I offered to debate her, but she's not going to debate me because there's nothing for her to say. Was she going to say, oh yeah, I defend calling victims of narcissistic abuse pathetic? Nah, that's not going to look good for you. So she's not going to do it. Yeah, that's what she's the queen of. I did a video about her 10 months ago. I called it the queen of Darvo, gaslighting, and antagonism. And I originally did some stuff 97 weeks ago about her, by the way. I saw that on Instagram too. I was like, oh, wow, I've been ripping her for a while. But I was alone. I was alone back then. Although there's this other woman, Dr. Burrows, I think her name is. She's been on the bandwagon too. I might invite her on the show. She knows more about it. She's the person that sent me that one about Sadia being mean to her while she was pregnant. But it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous that she would even think that's acceptable. Jolly says, some of us were children and or young when we had narcissists in our life. We had no control over the situation. Yeah, I mean, people, especially if they had a narcissistic parent, they didn't know what they didn't know. They were conditioned to associate the behaviors of a narcissist with love. They were used to earning love and affection. They were used to the walking on eggshells. They were used to the dysfunctional family routine, the control, the coercive control, all of that. That's just normal when you grow up in a narcissistic family like that. And then depending on the role that you were, different things will be normal. Golden child has a normal, the black sheep has a normal, the scapegoat has the normal, lost child has a normal, glass child has a normal. It just is what it is. So when people grow up in that, and especially if it's a covert narcissist, you just don't know. You don't know what it is because it's so subtle. And that's why a lot of people don't even recognize it until their 30s. Then they see, oh yeah, something was up. And usually they discover it because they wind up in a romantic relationship with a narcissist. And just like Cece and I talked about in, I think, our first interview, subconsciously you seek out romantic partners that are very similar to the parent you wanted more love from. So whatever parent you wanted more love from, and if you had a narcissistic parent, it was usually that parent. So you will subconsciously, to heal that childhood wound, that attachment wound, you'll seek out parents or romantic partners that were like your narcissistic parent, which is spot on to me. Yes, Bear, it's not good. Yours truly has to be careful of this too. So I say I might private this. I'm not sure because he did do that, but with the phone numbers, not good. Abba and Preach were smart enough to not do that, perhaps. But anyway, any other questions here before we shut this down? I just wanted to make sure we got the facts straight about Sadia, that I'm not just talking trash. There's legit things. And granted, the side chick thing, I don't really care about that. I care about the psychologist part, her deceiving people into thinking she's a psychologist. And I care about she's calling victims of narcissistic abuse pathetic. I care that she calls people brokies, entitled tramps, ugly, fat, all that. I care about all of that. The rest of it, I mean, side chick. The side chick part just makes her look hypocritical. It makes her look like a hypocrite that she's going to be the high value woman. Meanwhile, she's talking all trash like to that woman who's engaged. Oh, I can have your husband or your fiance whenever I want. Get a grip. Get a grip, right? And notice, Kat, that when she was talking to Abba and Preach there, very gentle, right? Very gentle, calm. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. Oh, no, I'm just so sympathetic. And I'm a woman. I'm a brown woman, so of course that people are going to look at me a certain way. It's like, Sadia, no one's thinking that, oh, we're going to treat you bad because you're a woman. In England in particular, she'd have more of a case in a Muslim country. But in England, no. And especially as an attractive woman, no. If anything, you get treated with privilege. Privilege that average people couldn't even dream of. So that's why you can't buy that. But it's a good case study. It's a good case study in real time there. Like, oh, yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens. Exactly right, Kat. And she's got, like I said, she's got the British accent. She's smooth with her words, a little articulate, charismatic. But a lot of times, if you really pay attention to it, she just says a whole lot of nothing. It's intelligent sounding word salad. It's kind of like what a politician will do. They'll give you intelligent sounding answers, but meanwhile, that answer said nothing. They didn't say a word, but it sounded good, but they didn't answer the question. Narcissists are masters of the non-answer or the word salad answer. Yeah, and then the British accents in particular. I talked about this the other day with Moon, Chris Williamson, Sadia, all of these people, Diary of a CEO. It makes Americans think they're 10 to 15 IQ points smarter. They just do. It's not true, but they think it is. Yes. My favorite Sam Vaknin said, they are the depth of a pond pretending to be an ocean. I think he said that in Malignant Self-Love, Narcissism Revisited. Good old Sammy boy. She does. And notice, Rhodes, that the tone was so different when she was trying to manage that image. She's trying to manage that image and avoid accountability there. Different tone. But in the comment sections and what I read to you and the text messages you saw, yeah, not good. Not good at all. Yeah, once you see it, you can see that they're not exciting. There's something missing about them. The allure is very shallow. It's very superficial and shallow, the narcissistic person's allure. I would almost say the trickier ones are the ones that are less severe now. Like once you see a severe one and you understand narcissism, you can see that from a mile away. But the subtle ones, like a more covert narcissist that's not as severe, that might be crazy making in its own way because they're not bad all the time. And when they are bad, it's only mediocrely bad, if that. That's probably tricky because you don't know what to do with it. That's what I would say. CYA. That's absolutely right. You can't go wrong with doing that. That's why I say we'll see how that looks when I replay this. I might have to void out that number. But we'll see. We shall see about that. Tomorrow, I'll be making a video. I'll upload a video about the sneaky covert narcissist again, how they can be very crazy making. And notice more lives and breakdowns. And unfortunately, it's not my favorite, but that video that I broke down with Sadia the first time, that got more views than all the other videos that I did. So it gets you more eyeballs. And for the business of this, unfortunately, that's important. Because, I make money from coaching consultations, YouTube, and Facebook, and a very little bit from TikTok. And I really need more of that. I need to focus more on other aspects of income if I really want to keep on doing this. It's the make or break time, and that's where I am. But anyway, I'm glad you all were on board here. I don't see George. I see George all over the comments, but not on these live streams anymore. We're going to give him a strike. Strike for George. Kat says, it really is awful when the mask fully comes off and there's no excusing turning a blind eye to who they are anymore. Correct. The mask off moments. And what are the mask off moments? Mask off moments are when they're under the influence of drugs or alcohol, in particular alcohol. If they're very angry, the mask can come off. They don't get their way, the mask can come off. They lose control of someone, the mask can come off. You can see the mask come off when you see how they treat people that can do nothing for you in public. Like if they think they're better than someone, they might treat people like trash. But those are all the things to look for. How do they act when you say no? How do they react when you disagree with them? How do they react when you enforce a boundary? Those are the ways to see. And once you put them through that lens, it doesn't even matter if they're a full-blown narcissist or not. Like when I say narcissist, like it's someone who has a fair amount of grandiosity, hypersensitivity to criticism and perceived criticism, a lack of empathy, entitlement, and is exploitative. That's what I would mean. NPD is a little more severe than that. Narcissistic is not as severe. And I'm not one of the people that buys into the everyone is narcissistic routine. I think everyone can be toxic, anyone can lie, but in accordance to the DSM, not everyone has a grandiose sense of self. Like, not everyone has impaired empathy. So even though a lot of people disagree with me on that, even though you Google it, they'll say, yes, everyone has narcissistic traits. I don't agree with that. I think it's a different ballgame. And to say everyone has narcissistic traits, I think it does a disservice. It does a disservice to how severe real narcissists are. So that's why I don't even like to say it. I think, no. I don't think everyone is on the spectrum of narcissism. Just like I don't think everyone is on the spectrum of autism either. Correct, Ellie. That's the DESS. DES. Deceptive, exploitative, seductive, and shallow. Or the 4 S's, as Sam Vaknin would say. Status, or supply, sex, status, safety. Maybe there's another one, shelter. I forget what all the S's are. I can't keep track of all the acronyms and what they all mean. Kat says, I think you can pick up narcissistic fleas from being around them, having to deal with them, but it's not who you are at your core. Yeah, and that's a very different thing. But you're correct. Narcissistic fleas is, I would actually say it's a symptom of CPTSD, really. Because a lot of people that had a narcissistic parent, they get CPTSD, and then they can pick up on the behaviors of the narcissist around them. And I think narcissistic fleas is when you don't have that narcissistic operating system. That's a different thing. So the narcissistic operating system, completely different ballgame. Different than just learned experienced narcissism. Learning it is similar to narcissistic fleas as well. And those are things people get worried about too. They think, is narcissism contagious? Can I catch it? No, you can't catch it. The worst you can catch is narcissistic fleas. And we do become like the people we surround ourselves with, but their narcissistic operating system will not be contagious. Get them eyeballs and they'll explore your other content. Yes, that's the plan, Bear. That's the plan. It's the way you got to roll. And I'm trying to funnel people to these streams and to the interviews. Yes, it's their baseline and our trauma response. Yes, I would agree with that. And there's other things too, right? Some people, they might struggle with addictions. They might struggle with, some people are borderline, but there's a genetic component to that too. But people will fight you a lot on that. They'll think, nope, borderline's just from trauma. And as Dr. Salerno would say, not quite. Not quite. And those are the very same people that say, no, borderline should be the same as CPTSD. And no, not the same. Not the same, because CPTSD directly related to trauma, borderline, not always. And people will say, well, I've never met a borderline that wasn't traumatized. Really? I would say often, but it's still different than I would say a true borderline operating system. That would be my thoughts. Intentionally mean. Narcissists or borderlines? Or someone else? Get them my balls. Who's intentionally mean, Ellie? I'll be curious. So to me, the biggest difference between a narcissist and a borderline is the fear of abandonment. So borderlines will have a massive fear of abandonment. Narcissists might fear a loss of control, but that is not the same as a fear of abandonment. And some narcissists might try to confuse you and say, I have a fear of abandonment. What they think is a fear of abandonment is more so just a fear of losing control. But borderlines will also have more unstable sense of self, more so, I would say, than a narcissist. They're often going to be more, they self-harm more. They're going to be very volatile, emotionally volatile more. And their issues are going to be more on the surface a lot of times. Narcissists usually present better, but you'll see the issues later. Borderlines will often have more mood disorder issues as well. Narcissists may have a little bit of depression, but borderlines, often it's misdiagnosed as bipolar for a reason. For a different reason, though, than narcissism is misdiagnosed as bipolar for different things. So it's tricky. But what I would say to you is borderlines, they appear more real. And that's not going to be in the DSM. But to me, they seem more real and genuine. Narcissists will appear more fake. There's something fraudulent about them. Borderlines will appear more real, but they're not any less disordered. So it can actually be tricky. It's sneaky because they seem genuine. They seem close to being able to help themselves or close to being able to have a healthy relationship. But they never quite get there a lot of times. There's always something that gets in the way. And usually they're their own worst enemy. And what happens a lot of times is they'll have these problems and they'll talk about their problems all the time and they'll be honest about them. But almost what they're doing is they're trying to get other people to solve their problems for them. And if you're a guy that's with a borderline woman, you might really be tempted to try to save that woman and put on your cape and rescue her because she seems like she has so many problems that you want to solve. Because a lot of guys, that's what they'll do. They'll see a woman with problems. Oh, I got to fix her problems. And some women do this with men too. They see a man that has problems. Oh, I got to fix him. I got to change him. And what is that? It's usually a recipe for disaster. Well, Ellie, and that's something Dr. Salerno and I are going to talk about too. The false self versus a fake image. I think you'll find that part interesting. Kat says, do you think it's true borderlines become the way they are from encounter? No, I don't believe that. I think it can be, borderlines can certainly be in contact with narcissists, but that's not necessarily the reason why they become borderline. I would not say that. There's no evidence of that. Dr. Salerno would certainly disagree with that too, I would say. Yes, I would say they are fragmented. That is correct. But you'll see, you're right, Kat, that a lot of borderlines will say that, yes. It's just a response to narcissism. Or the other thing they'll say is a borderline is a failed narcissist. And there's no evidence of that either. That's just something that some people, older school psychologists have said that. But the newer school, I don't think they believe that. I think they believe it's more genetic in origin. And sure, environment plays a part, but it's not so directly related. I think the big thing with the environment is it's more interesting when you give everything an environmental reason. So when you listen to Sam Vaknin, when you listen to Christian, who I interviewed the other day, there's something interesting when there's always some environmental explanation. It makes you feel like you're more in control. You have more control of your destiny when there's environmental explanations to things. And I think when people talk about the genetic component, it just seems more difficult. It seems like, well, I got the genetic component. I can still do something. But when it's all tied to the environment, I think it's more interesting to learn about. And people kind of get fascinated putting the pieces of the puzzle together. Oh, I'm a borderline because it's just a response to my narcissistic parent. I know that makes so much sense. Or I'm a borderline, but it means I'm just a failed narcissist. Oh, that's so interesting. It makes so much sense. But it's like, really? Is that really what it is? No. Like I said, the genetic component of things It's not just personality disorders, it's many things. And it's always interesting to me this. The things that people are very comfortable saying is genetic or biological. And what are those things? Autism, schizophrenia, if you're gay, everyone thinks, oh, that's all genetic. That's all biological. If you even tried to say those things were environmental, there's a lot of people who are going to get angry at you. And for autism, let's say, they'll say, no, you better not say it was a vaccine that did it. Whatever you do, it can't be that. It has to be genetic. But then you flip the script to narcissism and borderline. And now all of a sudden, no, it can't be genetic. It has to be environmental. Those personality disorders, they're all environmental. It's like, they don't say that. I'm exaggerating. They acknowledge there's some genetic, but they certainly think there's more emphasis on the environmental. But it's interesting. Think about that. Why? Why are they so eager to attribute the environmental causes to narcissism and borderline, but then so uneager to do the same for autism, schizophrenia, and being gay? Just something I've been thinking about recently. Labels all seem to mimic or mingle with the... Yeah, I mean, ultimately, labels give us something to talk about. And if you truly get accurately diagnosed, you can try to do something about your issue. But it's first important that it's accurately diagnosed. Whether it's genetic or not, there's definitely environmental influences. Oh, of course there is. There's environmental influences. It would be silly to say there was zero. What Dr. Salerno would say is, like, the cause is more of a genetic component of narcissistic personality disorder. That doesn't mean there's no environmental influence. It's just that genetic predisposition is mandatory first. But then the more you're traumatized, the more you're abused and mistreated, it's not going to make it better. It's only going to make it worse. So it's definitely both, Kat. I think with the personality disorders, he just wants to emphasize the genetic component is more important than they once thought. That's all. But I think it is interesting, though, like with autism, nobody wants to say that's environmental. But they used to say it was because of cold and distant mothers. And they might have said that about schizophrenia, too. And they still say that about narcissism in some cases. They'll say, nope, it just is a lack of individuation from a parent. Like Sam Vaknin says that. How accurate is that? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. We have to grow and heal, and emotional labor and ruminating about the abuse and the abusers. I mean, the rumination is not usually good, but it's helpful to understand what you went through, to make sense of it, so then you can move forward. Not necessarily to dwell on it, not necessarily to stay a victim. I'm a big advocate of being a victim is not supposed to be a final destination. It's only supposed to be a step on the path to recovery. I don't see myself as a victim. I don't see myself as a survivor. I don't see myself as a thriver. I don't see myself in relation to any abusive person. That's how I see it. Kat says, my younger brother stopped talking for a year soon after getting the MMRN vaccine in the 90s. See? And so that would be an indicator that I bet your parents would say, yep, my child did this, right? He got the vaccine and then this happened. But there's a lot of people who would get very angry. They say, no, it can't be that. Me personally, so you ask my thoughts. My thoughts would be, with autism, I don't put anything past it. Could there be, they haven't proven vaccine influences, but I also think there's some bias making sure that there's not any of those findings. But would it surprise me? Absolutely not. None of it would surprise me. Kat says, do you think social media is creating more narcissists? No. Not creating more narcissists, creating more narcissistic traits. creating more narcissistic behaviors, but not creating a full-blown narcissist. You'll see people acting more narcissistic. Think of it like narcissistic fleas. That's what I think social media can do. Social media can't give you a full-blown NPD. It can't give you a full-blown narcissism, but it can give you narcissistic fleas. That's what I would say. I feel like, because it's what you're getting rewarded with. People will do more of what they're being rewarded for. And when you create online and you do things that stir up controversy and you get rewarded for doing so, the more look at me, look at me, look at me. And then slowly but surely you lose your morals and values because you want those eyeballs on you. So you're willing to do the next thing. And then maybe you start lacking a little empathy with it. You stop caring. But even so, I think that's still different than a full-blown narcissistic operating system. Bear says, I feel like everyone could be misdiagnosed when alcohol or drugs or both. Also, the less experienced would be actually immature until they can live an experience. Yeah, I mean, I used to work in the addiction field, and they would never diagnose anyone until they were at least 6 months removed from drugs or alcohol because it mimics it. Like you can't figure out what's really going on until you're free from those drugs and alcohol influence. That's how I figured out what my issue was, because I was clean from everything and it certainly wasn't all better. I just had different problems. I suppose social media is giving narcissists a platform so we see them more clearly. Yeah, I mean, there's a fair amount of self-aware narcissists. I shouldn't say fair. There's a small amount of narcissists that are self-aware. You could argue how much real healing work they're doing. What you're more likely to see is people that don't claim to be narcissists, but are narcissists. And you'll see them because they'll do the things that we talk about. They'll play the game, but they don't acknowledge what they are. But yeah, it's given people a vector. Social media is an avenue to get narcissistic supply. You can get attention, admiration, and acknowledgement. It can make you feel grandiose and superior. The more followers you have, the more posts you have that go viral. You get an ego boost. You get a dopamine hit. And then what else would it do? You can become a little more callous over time, desensitized to it. There's all sorts of things that could happen, but that's what's getting rewarded. And our society doesn't even try to not reward that anymore. And that's why it's no surprise to me that a lot of people that do really well, they're fairly narcissistic. It doesn't mean they're full-blown narcissists, but they're fairly narcissistic because that's what our society rewards. Our society doesn't really reward humility. Our society doesn't really reward people that don't want to put themselves out there very much. Usually the people that do well, they're out there in front of people and they're speaking. The exception would be in IT or people that are doing things on the back end. That's different. That is different. And I've also been reaching out to the people that you guys suggested to me. Dr. Joseph, he shut down his Instagram page. I thought I was looking at his stuff. It's very interesting, but I lost it. He doesn't have an Instagram page anymore. So I reached out to his email address he has somewhere. Some do. Very few do, Ellie, but I don't recommend people listen to them because they're just going to confuse people more than likely. So I wouldn't bother. But there's a few. There's some self-aware narcissists. H.G. Tudor, self-aware narcissist and psychopath. I've interviewed several of these self-aware narcissists. The Nameless Narcissist, H.G. Tudor, the Batwolf, Kylie Rackham. Yeah, I've reached out to him. Hopefully he comes on because I got a lot of information about supplements. I used to be on antipsychotics years ago. I was on Suboxone years ago. I was on Seroquel, Zyprexa, Geodon, an SSRI briefly. So we could talk about that too. But I don't take any prescription drugs anymore. No prescription drugs for me. I'm an all-natural fella. Well, you know what I see them do, Ellie, is often, as Christian said, they fetishize why they do what they do. And they get supply from talking about it. And they'll be like, oh, woe's me. Oh, this is how I think. It's so awful, right? It's like they kind of turn this victim routine. Oh, and it's sneaky. It's sneaky that they do it. And if you're not careful, you might get sucked in. But I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think it's very helpful. I don't think it's helpful for the very most part. If anything, I think it actually might be harmful. Because it might help people to think, oh no, I got to give them a second chance. Or I understand them now. I can work with them now. It's like, no, you can't. I wouldn't try. But some people will. And that's the danger. Christian, at the end of my interview with him, he had a good saying about it that I'm going to post it as a short soon, but it's something to look out for. Different problems till medication? What do you mean? I only take supplements now. I mean, when I was on prescription medicines, they put me on Suboxone and Zyprexa, and I'm lucky I didn't kill myself sleep driving to school. Like, it was very powerful things. And like, my parents would say something to the psychiatrist and he'd be like, just getting adjusted to it. Meanwhile, I'm super lucky I didn't die because I was in no condition to be driving like that. But I did. But it was just like, it wasn't like alcohol or drugs. It was prescriptions that I was like legally prescribed. But they're powerful stuff. Good night, Jolly. I'm about to wrap this up here too. We're a little past our time here. It's 12:29. I was going to start this earlier today, but that Abba and Preach video and then Goob video, it didn't drop till later. If I am around one, I stay fully aware they are dangerous no matter how charming they can be. Leave that on the refrigerator, Ellie. That's a good one to remember. Because they're sneaky, right? They seem self-aware. They seem like they're trying. They seem like, oh, they're not so bad. But you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. You don't know how they are behind closed doors. It's the same thing when the family of a narcissist, they see all the people that in public, they think the narcissist is great. Oh, they're so great. But they save their mistreatment for the most part behind closed doors. They are certainly sneaky. You're not wrong about that. But if you're still here, by the way, make sure you like the video if you liked it. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe as well. And maybe share this video with somebody that wants to see the dirt on Sadia. Because it's true. All of it's true. All that stuff we went over there, it's true. And she didn't have to do it. It didn't have to be like this. She could have just been honest. She could have just said, no, I'm not a psychologist. The main danger is they're capable of doing pretty much anything to avoid accountability. Correct. And we saw that. We saw that with Sadia. I don't remember what they gave me, but I shouldn't have been driving on that either. I totally get it. They're powerful stuff. And so this is where you'll see big pharma and FDA's smear campaigns come into play. People rip supplements and they'll say, oh, those supplements are not FDA regulated. They're not FDA approved. They're super dangerous. Meanwhile, these drugs, they can be super dangerous and they are super dangerous for a lot of people, but they're still FDA approved. And some people think that FDA approval is, yep. And they'll say the dose determines the poison, which is true to an extent, but it's still not as cut and dry as they try to make it. Yeah, I mean, all supplements, and don't get me wrong, I take a lot of supplements, but they help me. And each little thing, it helps a lot. And sometimes I forget how much it helps until I forget to take something. And I'm like, oh yeah, like crap. I feel not as good. So I'm lucky though. I'm lucky and grateful that I have the routine that I have. And I'm lucky for that because my consciousness was always not so good. With anxiety and depression, it was not good. And so that's one of the reasons I was always self-medicating with like drugs and alcohol, is because I wanted to jump out of my skin. My regular consciousness was very unpleasant. And that's why a lot of people use drugs and alcohol. Their everyday consciousness is just horrible. They're very depressed, or they're very anxious, or they're very restless, or they have ADHD, lots of trauma, fill in the blank. But they're self-medicating that. I got a couple videos about it from back in the day. But what I tell people is this: my rules for supplements is start taking one thing at a time and stop taking one thing at a time. Don't take any proprietary blends. Take every ingredient individually so you know what's doing what. And understand not all brands are created equally, especially with things like 5-HTP. There's certainly varying strengths. And I would also say start with the basics. So what I mean by basics is vitamin D3, folate, some zinc, magnesium, what else? Some B12, a very little bit of B6 or P5P, and a probiotic for your gut health. And then like niacinamide, vitamin B3 for anxiety is very helpful. It's actually been shown to be like almost as effective as a benzo, and it's just vitamin B3. So those are the things, and there's a lot. There's a lot, and you know, it is what it is. They've really helped me. And there's a little bit of things, like they all help. They all contribute. And if you're interested, like I had a lot of supplement videos, but I privated them. They're not up anymore. Because I wasn't talking about supplements anymore, so I didn't want to confuse the algorithm. But as I interview more people again, hopefully like Dr. Joseph, maybe I'll bring them back on board. And we'll see how that goes. But before I wrap up here, anyone else have any other questions here? Questions, comments, concerns? Closing thoughts on Sadia? Blunting from some meds. Yeah, it'll do that. Sometimes that's what people need, though, in the beginning. They need a little bit of blunting just to manage, because without it, they just can't deal. So it's a fine line. If you're a psychiatrist and you're dealing with someone who's on hard drugs, I mean, that's a life or death endeavor, especially right now with all the fentanyl that's out there. So they have to weigh out the pros and cons. You got it, Ellie. It's me, Mario. Or it's me, Cynthia. I just watched that Netflix documentary where a preteen was being stalked and abused and catfished by her own mother. What? I'm pretty sure the mom is a sociopath, narcissistic personality disorder. Yeah, there's something off with her if that's what she was doing. Stalked by her mother. That's insane. Yeah, there's some times for the blunting, and then there's some times for some feeling. Abilify, that's one of the ones I was thinking about. Because they give that to people that are schizophrenic. They give that to people that have some bipolar. They give that. I'm convinced there's people that they don't even know what they are, but they're like, you know what? I don't know what's up with you, but we're going to give you some Abilify. It sounds like it's a good thing she went to jail, Cynthia, because she sounds out of control. Oh, but Abilify shrinks your brain? I've heard that also about some of these atypical antipsychotics. Seroquel, Zyprexa, Geodon. There's something it does. Zyprexa, what would happen is, and same with Seroquel, you take it at nighttime and you get so hungry that you need to eat like 10 pounds of food before you go to bed. And if you don't, you'll wake up like in the middle of the night eating your pillow. Like it's a kind of hunger that I can't describe. But like I was fat, and I was the worst kind of fat. I was skinny fat because I was in my early 20s on Zyprexa, and I was not good. Supplements, you don't get nearly as many negative side effects from supplements. Not nearly as many. Yeah, I mean, I was out of shape. Out of shape and not good. What do antipsychotics really do? Stop hallucinations and stuff? They stabilize your mood, is what I would say. They take away the crazies. So people that might have like kind of severe autism mixed with CPTSD, severe bipolar, severe anxiety, severe depression, they'll give them an antipsychotic to level them out. And you'll see people talk about it. They talk about taking away the crazies. And when my mental health was not good, you go down the mental health rabbit holes. And what I mean by the mental health rabbit holes is you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to figure out what's wrong with you. And you'll start talking to the bipolar 2 people, the bipolar 1 people, the ADHD people. I never thought I was autistic either, but that was more something I realized several years ago. Yeah, B3 is good. Niacinamide is good for you. I've been taking it for years. I've been taking everything I take for years. And knock on wood, it's not gone wrong. Knock on wood. But you meet a lot of interesting people when they're struggling with their mental health. I hear a lot about Lamictal. Lamictal was another one. Because my issue always was the severe anxiety. And that I could treat my anxiety, but then I would be a little more depressed. Or if I didn't treat the anxiety, then I would be anxious, but not depressed. So it was kind of a double-edged sword. Yeah, sometimes we go deep into the archives there, Ellie, that there's a lot of things to talk about. There's a lot of things I don't talk about that I know about, which is one of the reasons why I like interviews, because there's a lot of topics I know about that I've made my YouTube channel more about narcissism, so it just doesn't fit though. But with the interviews, I can make it fit. But I have a lot of experience with addictions and mental health and prescription meds and supplements. Like I know a lot about that. Real Deal Prime, welcome. It's and that's the thing. When someone has struggled with addiction and mental health, that's such a big thing. That's a massive thing. And then you really get close to people that have similar issues. And you might not even be compatible in other ways, but it's still a powerful connection when someone just has been through something you've been through. And there's a lot of people that like the only thing they'll bond over is maybe drugs, or the only thing they'll bond over is their mental health issues. And it's not necessarily a good thing to be bonding over, but a lot of people do. A tragic addict? Well, I think a lot of addicts are tragic, and a lot of addicts are tragedies in waiting. Yeah, Seroquel will certainly put you to sleep. They used to give that to people, the teens in the addiction facility I used to work at. And like they would knock them out. And the staff would not mind that one bit because those kids were out of control. These were the kids that would go to a teen rehab instead of going to the juvenile hall. So some of them were pretty rambunctious. But I still remember them. Some of them in jail now. One of them's dead. And the person who's dead is 10 years younger than me. Yeah, the Seroquel and Zyprexa hunger. Holy mackerel. I don't know what they do to it, But like, there's always, you notice with those heavy duty drugs, there's heavy duty side effects. Anything that works, especially if it's a drug, there's usually going to be a side effect. Yeah, Seroquel makes you hungry. Not as much as Cyprexa, but Seroquel does. A week on it for sleep was like absolutely not. Yeah, I wouldn't be a fan. I'm not a fan of those antipsychotics. Only in desperate times. If you're in desperate times and desperate, then okay. But if you're not in desperate times, I would say no. Don't even think about it. Because it's a big thing. It's like it's a blunt force instrument to take care of something. It's not always necessary. And it's sort of like with methadone to heroin, for example. Like methadone's a powerful thing. It's not a joke. But they give it to people, but they're giving it to people for more and more things. And I would say methadone is stronger than some of the things they're giving it to people for. All right. All right. I think that's about it, though, everybody. Again, thanks for watching. We'll be back again in a day or two, maybe tomorrow. I appreciate everyone who's on board here. Until next time. Over and out, everybody. Bear, Ellie, Rhodes, whoever else was in here. Real Deal Prime. All of yous. Kat, you got it. George, if you're listening. Jolly. Have a good one. Good night, everybody. Good night, Allie.